Good evening, and please be seated. Welcome to this reconvened meeting. Before we move into business, I'd like to point out to all present that this meeting is a space for respectful and constructive discussion. Members are reminded that the Standards Committee at its meeting on the 4th of June 2025 has requested that I make it clear to all members that by attending this meeting today, we are all agreeing to abide by the members' code of conduct and the standards expected of us. Let's remain professional, respectful, listen to one another and uphold the decorum expected of this chamber. Could I also remind all members, in accordance with paragraph 6.1 of the Council Procedure Rules in the Constitution, that if you are able to, please do stand when speaking and addressing me. Members of the public are asked to observe the public meeting protocol, copies of which are available on some seats as well as on the Council website. May I remind all present that the meeting will be streamed live on the Council website and also Oldham Community Radio, and the recordings will be available after the meeting. We'll now move to the business of the reconvened meeting. Item 1, apologies. There are none. Oh, yes. Councillor Bashworth.
Councillor Wilkinson's like to be very Chair. Maybe not at all.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Declaration of interest. Are there any declaration of interest from members in respect of matters to be determined by the Council at this reconvened meeting?
Just regarding
Yeah, thank you. Yes, that's fine, thank you. I'll just finish. If members are declaring a financial pecuniary interest or one of the other registrable interests, could I ask you to leave the meeting at the relevant time. The meeting of the Council on the 17th of September was adjourned approximately 27 minutes into consideration of agenda item 10, which was notice of administration business. And we were up to the first motion recognising Palestine and famine in Gaza. At the time of the adjournment, members were considering Amendment 1 from the Oldham Group. Any member who was not at the meeting on the 17th of September can remain in the chamber to observe this item. However, they cannot take part in the discussion or vote on this matter, as they were not present to hear the full debate, but can take part in the remainder of the business on the agenda. I understand that the following members have been notified in advance. They are Councillor Quigg, Councillor Lancaster, Councillor Sheldon and Councillor Williamson. In line with Council Procedure Rule 2.16, we are approaching the time on this section. Any motion under debate will be put to a vote and any outstanding motions will be moved and seconded and a vote is taken. I call for a vote on Amendment 1.
We ask to suspend council procedure so that we can amend our amendment, please. Thank you. Second.
I will put that to the vote.
Which council procedure rule?
Oh, which council procedure rule? Okay, thank you. Can go to the vote on that, please? Those in favour of suspend? Okay, thank you.
Councillor Adams. Councillor Akhtar. Councillor Al Hamdani. Councillor Ali Moan. Councillor Ali Zahir. Councillor Arnott. Councillor Aslam. Councillor Ball. Councillor Bishop. Councillor Brownridge. Councillor Byrne. Councillor Charters. Councillor Chauhan Zahid. Councillor Chauhan Naveed. Councillor Cosgrove. Councillor Davis. Councillor Dean. Councillor Gaffour. Councillor Goodwin. Councillor Hamlet. Councillor Harrison. Councillor Hince. Councillor Hindle. Councillor Hoban.
Against.
Councillor Hussain Aftab. Councillor Hussain Fida. Councillor Hussain Junaid. Councillor Hussain Sajid. Councillor Ibrahim. Councillor Iqbal. Councillor Islam. Councillor Jabbar. Councillor Kenyon. Councillor Cowser. Councillor Lancaster. Oh, apologies. Sorry, just remind of those. Sheldon, I think.
Sheldon Williamson.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, we did after the, yeah. Let's see. Councillor Malik. Councillor Marland. Councillor McLaren. Councillor Murphy. Councillor Mushtaq. Councillor Nasheen. Councillor Navesy. Councillor Rustage. Councillor Shah. Councillor Sharp. Councillor Shuttleworth. Councillor Sykes. Councillor Taylor. Councillor Wahid. Councillor Woodvine. Mr Mayor.
Against. The vote was 19 for, 31 against, so it's lost.
Mr Mayor, can at this point, can I invoke Rule 12.44 to withdraw Amendment 1 of the administration's first business? Thank you.
We need to vote on that now, don't we? Sorry, what's the question? So what the rules are, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Are we ready?
Sorry, 1 second. Unless they agree to allow us to withdraw our amendment, we don't need to do a recorded vote if they do. It'll save me some time.
Did the administration wish to go to the vote, or are they willing to agree to that on the nod? Pardon? Go to the vote. Oh, okay, thank you. We're voting on the withdrawal of the amendment.
No, not whether he can withdraw his amendment.
whether we agree to that being, and that's in the Constitution. It's not made up. It's in the Constitution. No, we've got to vote on it. So.
You need to turn yours
Here
on.
we go, it's red now.
Turn yours on.
They wanted it to be red. Councillor Gafoor, that's what it is. Can I just clarify? Are you saying sorry, apologies, Mr. Mayor. Are you saying that if administration is happy for you to withdraw the motion, then you don't want a vote? And your amendment? Okay.
Oh, we're going to the vote. Yeah, we'll go to the vote. It'll be quicker than, yeah, thank you.
Recorded.
Recorded vote, yeah, thanks.
Councillor Adams. Councillor Akhtar. Councillor Al-Hamdani. Councillor Ali Mowan. Councillor Ali Zahir. Councillor Arnott. Councillor Aslam. Councillor Ball. Councillor Bishop. Councillor Brownridge. Councillor Byrne. Councillor Charters. Councillor Chauhan Zahid. Councillor Chauhan Naveed. Councillor Cosgrove. Councillor Davis. Councillor Dean. Councillor Gafoor. Councillor Goodwin. Councillor Hamlet. Councillor Harrison. Councillor Hince. Councillor Hindle. Councillor Hoban.
Abstain.
Councillor Hussain Aftab. Councillor Hussain Feeder. Councillor Hussain Junaid. Councillor Hussain Sajid. Councillor Ibrahim. Councillor Iqbal. Councillor Islam. Councillor Jabbar. Councillor Kenyon. Councillor Cowser. Councillor Malik. Councillor Marland. Councillor McLaren. Councillor Murphy. Councillor Mushtaq. Councillor Nasheen. Councillor Navesy. Councillor Rustage. Councillor Shah. Councillor Sharp. Councillor Shuttleworth. Councillor Sykes. Councillor Taylor. Councillor Waheed. Councillor Woodvine. Mr. Mayor.
Against.
Apologies, Councillor Woodvine. For Mr. Mayor.
Against. The vote was 19 for, 28 against, and 3 no votes. Abstentions, yeah. So, yeah. And withdrawal of Amendment 1 has been lost. This means that we will take a vote on Amendment 1.
Mr. Mayor, we have a recorded vote on that.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Adams. Councillor Akhtar. Councillor Al-Hamdani. Councillor Ali Mowan. Councillor Ali Zahir. Councillor Arnott. Councillor Aslam. Councillor Ball. Councillor Bishop. Councillor Brownridge. Councillor Byrne. Councillor Charters. Councillor Chauhan Zahid. Councillor Chauhan Naveed. Councillor Cosgrove. Councillor Davis. Councillor Dean. Councillor Gaffor.
Abstain.
Councillor Goodwin. Councillor Hamlet. Councillor Harrison. Councillor Hince. Councillor Hindle. Councillor Hoban. Councillor Hussain Aftab. Councillor Hussain Fida. Councillor Hussain Junaid. Councillor Hussain Sajid. Councillor Ibrahim. Councillor Iqbal. Councillor Islam. Councillor Jabbar. Councillor Kenyon. Councillor Cowser. Councillor Malik. Councillor Marland. Councillor McLaren. Councillor Murphy. Councillor Mushtaq. Councillor Nasheen. Councillor Navesy. Councillor Rustidge. Councillor Shah. Councillor Sharp. Councillor Shuttleworth. Councillor Sykes. Councillor Taylor. Councillor Wahid. Councillor Woodvine. Mr Mayor.
Against. (28 against and 22 abstains). That is the amendment. The amendment's lost. So we will now move on to item, Amendment 2 from the Liberal Democrats. And I call on Councillor Alamdani to move and Councillor Sykes to second. There's no time to discuss this, so it will be straight on to the vote. Does Council agree the amendment? Show of hands. Yeah. For, sorry. Those against? Abstentions? Amendment lost. That is lost, so we'll move on back to the original motion, which we'll now vote upon. Those in favour? Those against? Abstentions? Which is the defibrillator friendly borough motion. I call on Councillor Brownridge to move and Councillor Rustage to second. Again, there is no time for discussion.
Just flushing.
There you go.
There we go. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a very brief introduction as we're out of time.
No time.
I'm having a break. I'm sorry, this is too important. I've timed it. It's 1 minute, and I want you to listen.
No, there's no time. I've insisted previously with other
I think that's
groups.
really unfair. This is a really important motion.
Just move it.
Move next.
Well, can I have an... I'm moving extension, people. Yes. I'll only be 2 minutes. I promise.
Okay, that's fine.
I've timed it, and it's very short. But it's really important. Now, I take it as read that we all agree that defibrillators are really, really important. So the point about this motion is to confirm the Council's support for Oldham to become a defibrillator-friendly borough. This is the result of an approach from a fantastic local charity, Defibrillators Save Lives, who together with our heart heroes look after existing machines to ensure that they remain available for use. It's the Council's intention to work in partnership with this amazing group of volunteers to ensure the best possible coverage across the borough and also to ensure that the machines are regularly inspected and kept on the circuit so that they are available for use when needed. We're currently working on establishing the whereabouts and condition of all existing machines and agreeing responsibility for their upkeep. We'll also support the charity in their work of familiarising as many people as possible with the machines so that everyone is confident to use them if the need arises. So this is a fantastic example of partnership working being initiated by members of the community. So I expect, nay, I demand that you all agree to it unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Well done.
Councillor Rustage, you second. No time to speak, please. Does Councillor agree the motion? Those in favour? Any against? Any abstentions?
Thank you.
Unanimous. Thank you.
I demand that you vote for it.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, I'm really sorry, and I absolutely support this motion. I've got no issues with it at all. I couldn't support it more. But we can't have councillors simply riding roughshod over rules in this chamber. When you sit up there and say, OK, this is what's going to happen, we can't have people on the floor from whatever party saying, oh, hang on a minute, no, it's not, because we'll just end up with chaos. I've got no issues with this motion at all. I absolutely support it. I could not support it more. But we just cannot have people making this up as it goes along. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll note that, Dave, and I'll speak to you afterwards. Okay, thank you.
They didn't move an extension.
Yeah. But an extension was moved. Pardon? Yeah. Didn't. Anyway, let's move on, otherwise we're going to be here all night and not get around to the other meeting. Item 11, notice opposition business, for which we have 30 minutes. As we agreed with the group leaders outside of this meeting, the 30 minutes will be allocated as follows. Oldham Group motion, 12.5 minutes. Liberal Democrats motion, 12.5 minutes. And the Conservative motion, 5 minutes. We will now deal with motion 1, provision of free school meal travel for all children in temporary accommodation. As agreed outside of this meeting, I call on Councillor Akhtar to move and Councillor Chauhan to second the motion as amended, which has had the approval of the mover and seconder of the amendment, Councillors Ghaffur and Wahid. Councillor Akhtar will move and Councillor Chauhan will second the motion as amended. Councillor Akhtar.
Oops. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. arise today to propose a motion that is not only necessary, it is urgent, compassionate and rooted in social justice. As of March 2025, Oldham had 562 households in temporary accommodation. Of these, 310 households included 750 children. These are not just numbers, they represent real families and children across our borough. These children are being asked to carry the burden of housing instability while trying to stay focused in the classroom on their education. Temporary accommodation is meant to be short-term, around 6 weeks, but for Oldham, many families remain in these placements for 6 months, a year, or even longer. Just look at the breakdown. We've got 173 households in bed and breakfast, including long-term cases. 259 households in nightly paid self-contained units, many for 6 to 12 months or even 1 to 2 years. These numbers might have changed, but nevertheless, they're going to be similar. Others in hostels and private sector leases. Now imagine being a child in one of these households, rehoused suddenly, placed miles away from your school and expected to make it there every day without any support. The law says you're only eligible for free travel if your school is over 2 miles away, if under 8, or over 3 miles if 8 and over, or if there's no safe working route, or if you have SEND or mobility needs. But what about children who fall just short of these thresholds? Some face 30 minutes walk or even longer, even confusing bus journeys across the borough, who are then late, stressed or absent, not because they don't care, but because the system doesn't support them. This is a policy gap and it is failing our children. Locally, some Greater Manchester boroughs offer limited support, but only if the child meets the standard criteria. There is no Greater Manchester authority that has yet introduced a borough-wide concession for children in temporary accommodation. Meanwhile, the Manchester Evening News campaign is calling for free bus passes for children who live more than 30 minutes walk from school. As of 25th of August, 6 Greater Manchester MPs have publicly backed this campaign, but Oldham's 3 MPs have been silent on this issue. This motion proposes that Oldham Council extend free school travel, bus pass or taxi to all school-age children in temporary accommodation, regardless of mileage. This is about educational continuity, mental well-being and fairness. It's about ensuring that no child is punished for their family's housing situation, and it's about Oldham leading the way, the first borough in Greater Manchester to close this gap and set a compassionate standard for others to follow. Colleagues, I urge you to support this motion. Let us act with courage, clarity and care. Let us be the borough that leads and puts children first. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Sean.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I second this motion with a sense of concern that in 2025 we are still having to argue that every child in Oldham should be able to get to school, no matter where they are having to live. At present, the numbers of people that are in temporary accommodation is far too many. For many, that means living in a hotel, hostel or somewhere far from their school. On top of everything else they are facing, parents are expected to find the money for bus fares they simply can't afford. When they can't, children miss lessons, attendance drop, and families already under pressure fall further behind. These families do not choose their circumstance. They've been placed there, yet the current system adds another barrier to their daily lives. That is something within our power to change. Providing free school travel for children in temporary accommodation is a practical and fair step. It helps maintain stability, ensures continuity in education, and gives parents one less worry when life is already difficult enough. We've seen across Greater Manchester how affordable and reliable transport can make a real difference. This is an opportunity for Oldham to show that same commitment, that no child will be left behind because of where they are housed. Thank you.
Thank you. Does any member wish to speak on Amendment 1? Right, okay. So we've got a second amendment now. Yes, okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. We all know there is a crisis in temporary accommodation due to the severe shortage of affordable housing. But as has already been stated, at its centre are homeless children and their families. The impact that living in temporary accommodation has on these families is undeniable. I myself have met with many families who talk about the uncertainty that they face and how simply living as a family and doing the things that other people take for granted is a daily challenge for them. But the circumstances of every household in temporary accommodation are specific to that particular family. Many children in these households are at an age where they aren't yet attending school. Some families are housed close to their child's school. Others have access to a car and value the school run as part of the family routine. And 16 to 18-year-olds already receive a free bus pass as part of the Greater Manchester Hour Pass. We also have access to and use discretionary funds, which allows for purchasing of travel passes to help families with the cost of school travel. I believe it is fundamentally important that our housing team continues to work with families and individuals based on their particular needs. You cannot take a blanket approach to dealing with complex problems. As I have already stated in the past, it is a priority for this Labour administration to move families back into the borough as quickly as possible, nearer to family and friends and support networks. However, the lack of available accommodation can still mean that the placement is a significant distance away from a child's current school. I agree there is an urgent need for further intervention to support families living in temporary accommodation. And of course, we want to reduce disruption to children's education and prevent children from being disadvantaged by their living arrangements. To that end, I have already instructed the team to review the current approach to make sure that any gaps in our current provision are identified and addressed. Ongoing work is already taking place and officers are cross-referencing data sets held in housing and education to provide an initial assessment of the situation. This includes how many children in temporary accommodation are attending primary and secondary school, what distances are involved and what solutions are already in place. This work will inform an assessment of what gaps may currently exist and what delivery options could be considered to meet the needs of those families. Additionally, as part of the wider mitigation work that is already being carried out, the Housing and Homelessness team have been working through how we can reduce the numbers in TA, and in particular those staying in hotels and bed and breakfasts, to ensure families are placed in appropriate accommodation. And while I am pleased to report that we are seeing reductions in these areas, I know that more still needs to be done. I want to see a more joined-up approach in supporting families and reducing school absenteeism. It is evident that schools often don't know which children are living in temporary accommodation, but I'm sure that they could do a lot more to support them if they did. Transport for Greater Manchester is currently undertaking a broader review of concessions, and Mayor Burnham has asked for children in temporary accommodation to be included. We are all sympathetic to this particular issue, and given the changes that the Oldham Group have now made to their own motion, we are able to support it, and therefore we will be withdrawing our amendment. Thank you.
Thank you. Amendment 2 has been withdrawn. So would any member wish to speak? Sorry? Yeah, we did last time, didn't we? Technically we did. Yeah.
Does the council agree with that?
Yes. Does the council agree that amendment 2 be withdrawn? Amendment 2 has been withdrawn, so would any member wish to speak before we move to the vote, which will be the Oldham Group's motion as amended, Amendment 1, which is now the substantive motion. Okay. Those in favour? Those against? Abstentions? The motion is carried. Thank you. We will now move on to motion 2. Oldham Borough deserves a state-of-the-art police station which must include a custody suite. I call on Councillor Alamdani to move and Councillor Marland to second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll rise to move the motion. It feels very odd to speak on this at this point because it's such a long time ago since we discussed this. I know that there's been ongoing discussions happening. It would have been nice to have an invitation, but there we go. It's really important to me that people in this borough feel that they can trust the police to be there when they need them to be there. We've seen that this week. The police station in Oldham has been operating on reduced hours for 14 months without anyone being notified, including most of Greater Manchester Police, by the sounds of things, because I tried to ask them when they were open and they told me the wrong information. To update people, just so that we know, apparently a recruitment process is now happening, but they still can't give me a date when the police station will actually be open for the hours that it says it will be open. And it's this kind of thing, so the removal of the custody suites or the inability to use them, the withdrawal of the police station being accessible at the times that they say that it should be accessible, that make people feel like when they need to speak to the police, they can't. And what that does is it just undermines the confidence and the faith that people have in the police. And it's really sad, but I'm sure we've all heard so many times the number of people going, well, it's just no point reporting it, nothing will happen. And we get encouraged by the police. I'm sure you've all had the meetings where they say, oh, well, you need to make sure these things get reported. And like me, I'm sure you go back to people and repeat that. But when that faith is broken in what service we have, it becomes really difficult to repeat that message. So what we need is for a station like this with the services that it must have so that we can start to change that conversation, so that we can make people feel that they're being listened to, that there is someone there to help them, and that they don't have to, in this case, disappear halfway across Manchester to just book somebody into a police station, fill out the paperwork and be off the streets for 1, 2, 3 hours that they don't need to be. And the police that I've spoken to are extremely frustrated by this. They don't want to be doing this. Everyone that I've spoken to within the police service has said, yeah, this just makes sense. We just want to be able to arrest someone, nick them, get them locked up, and get on with catching the next person. And if we don't have this, you know, it's pointless. I feel like we might as well just all give up and go home. And I kind of feel like the police might as well, because we're just wasting their time stopping them from catching people. And that's what we all want. Now, I'm really glad, as I say, that the Labour, me too, we want to be in on this as well, and that having had it pointed out that GMP were not proposing to do this, those discussions are now happening. It's frustrating that I got told I was wrong when I pointed this out. And actually, you know, Greater Manchester, the combined authority, were not planning to put cells in a new police station. I'm glad that the message seems to be changing, and I'm glad that the Labour Party here now seems to be on board and is arguing for this. It's really frustrating that we had to go through that process for something that we all wanted. So, I'm on that basis. I'll support the motion, the amendment from the Labour Party. I'm glad you're on board with it. And can we please all vote this through and not nick some people?
Thank you, Councillor Alamdani. That was very well timed. Thank you. So, Councillor Marland, second.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd like to second this motion in support of my ward colleague. As Councillor Hamdani has already told us about the lack of custody suites within the Oldham Police Station, and I must also add that a previous Chief Constable likened it to a communist building in East Germany. This comment was actually made during a conversation in 2021 with Jim McMahon, and this was nearly 5 years ago when a review of the police facilities was being done. So what's actually happened in the 5 years since that conversation took place? Well, our police officers have had to waste their precious time transporting detainees miles around Greater Manchester to find an empty custody suite. And this is when our communities are demanding to see more police presence on our streets and in our neighbourhoods. Also, in the past few years, there's been no action by either of the Oldham MPs to drive this matter forward. However, that was up until a few weeks ago when this motion was raised, and all of a sudden, Jim McMahon has jumped onto the bandwagon. But this issue affects us all, so please consider and support this motion and allow the police officers of Oldham and Greater Manchester to remain working in our town. Thank you.
Thank you. We have received an amendment. I call on Councillor Shah to move and Councillor Aftab Hussain to second the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Not much to say on this motion. Obviously, time has passed since we brought the amendment forward, but I would like to take this opportunity to just provide some clarification. So I'll tell you what has changed. What has changed is that we know how longer, and I agree entirely with the sentiments of both the previous speakers. It is appalling that our local police station, not just here actually, policing across the country, has been hit just as much as everybody else and every other part of society has with the austerity measures of the previous government. And what's changed now in these last year and a half is the fact that we now have people that are willing to listen to the concerns of public servants across this country. The conversations have developed massively. Obviously, they had to, because what the benefit has been is that we didn't have any more the Lib Dems nationally propping up a Conservative government that led on a journey of austerity across people across this country. Then we didn't have the Conservatives kind of furthering on with their agenda of architects of like cuts again to every single part of society. But what we have got now is a Labour government, and the conversations that we have had over these last couple of months have been with the Ministry of Justice, have been with the Home Office to say that this is right. And absolutely, our officers do need the services that mean that they can protect the communities that they serve across Greater Manchester, but across the country too. So the amendment is, as you can see, written, but the audacity to have and take lectures from people who've absolutely been part of the reasons why our police officers have had to struggle and work in the conditions that they have. And the reason why we're bringing this amendment forward is because the Lib Dems have form of trying to take credit for work that other people have done, just like they do in Saddleworth with the health centre when they know that they've got no part to play in that, just like they're trying to do here now. But the reality is things have developed, and there's public record of the Member of Parliament who can speak for himself on what on his calls for what policing and policing should look like and what policing services should be for people across this country. So thank you. I'd just like to move that amendment and thank you for your time, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Aftab Hussain. Would you like to second the motion amendment?
Second this amended motion and support my ward colleague, please. Thank you.
Does any member wish to speak on the amendment? No? Do you want to speak again, Sam? Right, you've got a right of reply.
Right of reply, not necessarily
No, it's okay. Yeah.
But yes. Right of reply? Yeah. Sorry? My main point is that Councillor Shah repeatedly in this council chamber has railed against the politicisation of these motions by the Oldham group, by ourselves. She's then just stood up to complain about a government that existed when some current voters were still in an infant school and to... I didn't say myself, but there are voters who were in infant school at that point. You just need to listen carefully. And then to politicise this whole thing. You probably need to not listen to your own advice not politicise things that don't need politicising. We were happy to accept the amendment, and we still are. We didn't need to go through that.
Councillor Shah, wish to reply?
I do, yeah. None of that made sense to me, by the way. Politicising of what motion, stating facts, is not politicising, but obviously there's a clear issue in this chamber. People do not like facts, and they don't like them being presented to them in any way, shape or form. No need for the dramatics or for the theatre. The reality is what I've just set out in front of you. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Does the council agree the amendment? Those in favour? Those against? Abstentions? The amendment is carried. This means that the amendment will take the place of the original motion, and this now becomes a substantive motion. Could I ask any member wishes to speak on the substantive motion, which is the amendment that has just been carried? No? Should we go to the vote then? We will now deal with motion 3, the Old Library, an anti-democratic debacle. Thank you. I call on Councillor Woodvine to move and Councillor Byrne to second the motion.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd like to begin by stating this is not a debate about a building. It is a debate about democracy. I am pleased that the old library has been restored and reopened. The building is an architectural asset in the town centre, and unfortunately after closure, its condition did badly deteriorate. However, like much else arranged by this Labour administration, the renaming process has been atrocious. In his lifetime, I'm sure Mr Clines was an accomplished man in public office, and he did hail from Oldham. But beyond being born, he has no connection to our borough nor the building itself. He was never elected by the people of Oldham, nor served the people of Oldham in any office, local or national. He is among more than 30 honorary freemen and aldermen of the Metropolitan Borough, all of whom could have good cases for the building to bear their name. Oldham boasts many brilliant leaders and industrialists, such as Sir Winston Churchill and John Platt, to name but two. There was no consultation at all with the tax-paying public of Oldham on what this building should be called, which this Conservative group believe is anti-democratic and shameful. The old library is a civic building which belongs to the people of Oldham. Their input should have been invited, but of course, in the same anti-democratic spirit to which we have become accustomed, it was not. Instead, Oldham Labour have cynically used this renaming to celebrate their own party history. Civic presentation should not be plagued with partisanship like this. Once again, the council are putting the Labour Party first and Oldham second. As we move into the old library, as I will continue to call it until a suitable name is found in the future, this Conservative group demands full transparency in relation to the naming process, an opportunity for cross-party consultation, and finally to give Oldham residents a chance to nominate alternative names to be considered. There should have been public consent in naming this building, but as per usual, Oldham Labour have acted with their ivory tower instinct. No one was involved except a small executive cabal. That is no way to reintroduce a revived civic space, Mr Mayor, and I'm happy to accept the Liberal Democrat amendment. Thank you.
Councillor Byrne.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Yes, it's working. I was so disappointed when I knew this, I support this motion, but it was a disappointment that it was a name I didn't even recognise. I come to say I'd never heard of. And I felt that well, we should have had some sort of agreement or representation from other groups in this. Maybe we just had a list of names and we decided which it would be. It might have still been the one we have, but I think that we should have had some involvement in it because, as I've said before, there are us and them. We are not us and them. We are a council represented. We're elected for our wards, and to have a decision made centrally, which no one else was involved in, unless they admit to it on this side, no. But mine was a feeling of disappointment, and I do support this motion and the amendment by the Labour group. Liberal Democrats. Sorry.
The amendment has been accepted, so the amended motion is now this substantive motion. And was it Councillor Alan, did you want to speak? Did you? No. No. Councillor Hamblett, sorry. All right. No, Councillor Hamblett.
Very quickly, Mr. Mayor, it's only some small technicalities in the fact that, quite rightly, this building is yet to be finished. And there are rooms, rundles there, the 7 of our boroughs, and yet many of our rooms have yet to be named as well. And our old place in this... Is this
speaking to the motion?
Yeah. Well, okay, I'll speak to the amendment and thank you. Over a month in this new place, and yet none of our rooms have been rightly named in the previous space. Crompton, Saddleworth, Chadderton, Shaw, Lees and the other 7 places have yet to be named. We've still got pieces of paper on those rooms in some blandness in the setting. And when we do decide to actually name this place properly, we can actually get on to naming our rooms and the suites of which we actually are now customarily being placed into. This building is actually a working building in assets and it does have history, but it should actually affect the other parts of the borough, not just the town centre and the century that it actually is in. Thank you.
We are now out of time. Yeah. So we'll move to the vote on the motion as amended. Those in favour? Those against? Abstentions? Yeah, the motion is lost. Thank you. Yeah. Now moving on to item 12, update and actions from the council. I call on Councillor Ruth Shah and Councillor Lane Taylor to second the report.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Lancaster, you have a question?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My questions relate to the approved motion regarding gully clearance as proposed by my ward colleague, Councillor Byrne, at our July meeting. Can the Cabinet member please confirm the current total of gullies serviced through the present programme? The papers prepared for the suspended September meeting state 18,000, but of course we would hope that several thousand more may have been serviced in the 2 months since. And the need for progress is more pressing now with wintry weather and increased risk of ice patches on the highway. And also the approved motion called for a revision of the gully clearance programme. I accept that helpful information has been shared with elected members, but does the Cabinet member consider this alone to constitute a revision? I would suggest a more comprehensive review with input invited from all councillors. Thank you.
Councillor Shah, would you like to reply? Councillor Ball.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's just a question. It's page 122, the motion about the Old Failsworth Library. It does say that members will receive an update once the feasibility work is concluded. I did ask at the time that the councillors in Failsworth will be kept appraised of what was going on along the way. I mean, I brought this motion in December, and you know, it's been a long time, and it's ridiculous that we've not had any updates whatsoever. I mean, the nursery are still in the building and in the process. They should have moved in September. The new building wasn't quite ready, and it's had a leak in the roof, so they're still in this building and hoping to move in January. But what is actually going to happen to this building? If anybody could answer that question, I'd really like to know. Thank you.
Councillor Shah.
I'm a bit confused because that is the update, that they're still there, it's still tenanted. We can't make and have a conversation about something when we've still got tenants in the building, and she's got a more up-to-date position than what I know. So that is the update that she's just declared in the chamber herself.
Thank you, Councillor Shah. Does any other member wish to speak? Does Council note the report? Thank you. We'll now take item 13, Treasury Management Outturn Report 2024-25. I call on Councillor Abdul Jabbar to move and Councillor Aruj Shah to second the report.
Moved, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Shah, second. Right. Does any member wish to speak? Does Council approve the report? Thank you. Moving to item 14, introduction of Article 4, direction for houses of multiple occupation.
At this time, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Anybody else wish to leave? Thank you. For clarity, the version of the report we are working to is from page 25 to 72 in the supplementary pack. We have received an amendment, and for clarity, this is detailed within pages 25 to 72 of the supplementary pack. I call on Councillor Elaine Taylor to move and Councillor Aruj Shah to second the report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, the report before you tonight on Article 4 direction for HMOs sets out the evidence and process for bringing forward such a direction. Given the delay to this council meeting, Cabinet has already considered the proposed Article 4 direction and agreed the consultation would run for 6 weeks from the 29th of September to the 9th of November. Now that the consultation has concluded, all feedback will be brought back to December Council and Cabinet for full consultation. For clarity, this won't affect the timescale or implementation date, as the amendment asks for the report to be exempt from Cabinet calling. The evidence presented on pages 158 to 160 provides the basis for the recommendation. There is also a heat map of where HMOs are located across the borough. This clearly shows clusters of HMOs emerging in central areas of Oldham, as well as Failsworth and Shaw, which justifies the introduction of a borough-wide Article 4 direction. Officers have worked hard to produce as accurate a set of data as possible, but as the Council do not currently have to be notified of 3 or 4 person HMOs, or when a HMO is converted back into a family dwelling, it is difficult to be 100% precise. It is important to stress, as we have done all along, that introducing an Article 4 direction is not designed to stop all HMOs from being granted, and we in this chamber have a responsibility to ensure that this is clear to our electorate and not mislead our residents. The Article 4 direction removes the permitted development rights for the conversion of a dwelling to a small HMO, meaning any such conversion will have to apply for planning permission first. As Planning Committee members will know, where HMOs already require planning permission, most applications are granted because they are in line with existing planning policies. The purpose of the Article 4 direction is to give us more local control, and officers will be looking to introduce a more detailed policy on HMOs through the new Part 2 local plan. This will allow us to refuse permission for the conversion of a dwelling to a small HMO where they do not comply with local policies. With the permission of the Chair, I will be looking to evolve place scrutiny in reviewing and inputting on this policy before we finalise the Part 2 local plan. If the Article 4 direction is confirmed, the direction will come into effect from the 1st of January 2026. Going forward, this will help us to make more robust decisions on HMO applications. Therefore, I urge all councillors to agree to the recommendation in the report. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Shah? Okay, thank you. We do have an amendment to the report, so can I call on Councillor Alam Darmany to move and Councillor Kenyon to second the amendment?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I just want to check something for clarity, because it's something Councillor Taylor just said, that the decision would be exempt from call-in. It's our amendment that exempts it from call-in. I want to make sure... So I've only just done the logic chain. If we withdraw our amendment, does it suddenly become subject to call-in again? Because if not, we might as well just vote it through, if that's okay. I know.
A usual argument, isn't it? The opposition arguing to exempt Carly. Oldham first, politics second.
That's right. Just going to take a minute to give you the correct advice. We're voting on the amendment now. Yeah, Councillor, will you second, please? Thank you. So, does Council agree the amendment? Those against? Anybody? No. No abstentions. Thank you. That's it then.
I know we need a vote.
Oh yeah. Right. Can we? So,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Those in favour? Against? Any abstentions? Moving on to item 12, updates on actions from Council. Oh, sorry, no, I've gone backwards. Apologies. The next item is item 16, appointment of Vice Chair. Item 15, Oldham Youth Justice Service Strategic Plan. I call on Councillor Mushtaq to move and Councillor Rushar to second the report. Does any member wish to speak? Does Council approve the report? Thank you. Then the next item is 16, appointment of Vice Chair of Audit Committee 25-26. I call on Councillor Jabbar to move and Councillor Rushar to second the report.
Mr Mayor, I'd like to withdraw this report. There's item 18 on the other meeting that deals with this item, so if I can please withdraw this.
Second that? Yeah. Thank you. Does Council agree to withdraw? Okay. No. No, we need to go to the vote then. Those in favour of withdrawing?
Reason why I'm withdrawing. We're recruiting a new independent mayor, and the suggestion in the report. Sorry, independent. Sorry, Mr. Mayor. Obviously, slip of the tongue. We're recruiting an independent audit committee member, and the suggestion in the report is that person as independent is the vice chair. So anybody who's read the report would have known that, and that's what I'm suggesting that we do. Thank you.
with
After that, Mr Mayor, can I call for a recorded vote on the withdrawal?
Councillor Adams. Councillor Akhtar. Councillor Al-Hamdani. Councillor Ali Moan. Councillor Ali Zahir. Councillor Arnott. Councillor Aslam. Councillor Ball. Councillor Bishop. Councillor Brownridge. Councillor Byrne. Councillor Charters. Councillor Chauhan Zahid. Councillor Chauhan Naveed. Councillor Cosgrove. Councillor Davis. Councillor Dean. Councillor Gaffor. Councillor Goodwin. Councillor Hamlet. Councillor Harkness. Councillor Harrison. Councillor Hince. Councillor Hindle. Councillor Hoban. Councillor Hussain Aftab. Councillor Hussain Feeder. Councillor Hussain Junaid. Councillor Hussain Sajid. Councillor Ibrahim. Councillor Iqbal. Councillor Islam. Councillor Jabbar. Councillor Kenyon. Councillor Cowser. Councillor Lancaster. Councillor Malik. Councillor Marland. Councillor McLaren. Councillor Murphy. Councillor Mushtaq. Councillor Nasheen. Councillor Navesy. Councillor Quigg. Councillor Rustage. Councillor Shah. Councillor Sharp. Councillor Sheldon. Councillor Shuttleworth. Councillor Sykes. Councillor Taylor. Councillor Waheed. Councillor Woodvine. Mr Mayor.
The voting was 34-22 against, so that item will be withdrawn. Thank you. The next item is item 17, review of the polling districts and polling places. Will Council please refer to the revised and updated version of this report on page 73 of the supplementary pack. I call on Councillor Jabbar to move and Councillor Aroosh Shah to second the report. Does any member wish to speak? Councillor Woodbine.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd just like to put on record my extreme disappointment with the process. I wrote to the head of elections about a particular polling station in my Saddleworth South Ward, namely St Mary's Church, after residents raised their concerns about that being used as a polling station due to its inaccessibility for, well, mainly disabled people, but also some elderly people, and there's no disabled parking at the church. There is disabled parking at St Mary's School as a side point. There may be a reason that they've not changed it, but the head of elections, despite having a significant salary, didn't find the time to reply to my feedback on the consultation. So I'd like to put that on record. I'm sure there was a very good reason why it wasn't included, but it would have been courteous to get a response from the head of elections. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? No. Does Council approve the report? Thank you. That concludes the business for this reconvened meeting.